In both nature and human systems, hidden protections, safety nets, exist not because we expect daily disaster, but because eventually something will go wrong. These buffers aren't pessimism, they're wisdom, like a tree's deep roots or a first aid kit at home. They quietly stand between minor problems and full-blown crises. Our food, power, and transport systems all rely on these unseen margins to absorb shocks from weather, machinery failure, or human error. Without them, a single failure could trigger widespread disruption. Stability isn't about perfection, but about resilience, having the capacity to absorb the inevitable bumps. Buffers are the uncelebrated heroes, only noticed when they save us from disaster. They're the reason our world doesn't break at the first sign of trouble. A buffer is a reserve, extra time, resources, or space set aside to absorb shocks. Picture a pond along a stream. It absorbs sudden surges, preventing floods downstream. That's a buffer in action. In food systems, buffers are stored grain, extra tins in your cupboard, or backup production lines. They buy time to solve problems before they become crises. Buffers aren't just stock, they're spare capacity, like an empty lane on a road or an idle generator at a hospital. They're the slack that keeps systems from snapping under stress. Without buffers, systems are brittle. With them, they're resilient. Whether it's a few extra days of supplies or a backup plan, buffers let us absorb shocks and keep going. They're the difference between a minor hiccup and a major breakdown. Buffers quietly protect us from the chaos of an unpredictable world. Despite their importance, buffers are often mistaken for waste in our efficiency-obsessed world. Idle stock or unused capacity looks like lost profit, not protection. The just-in-time philosophy aims to eliminate all slack, making systems lean but fragile. Buffers cost money, warehouses, spare parts, idle staff, but their value isn't in daily profit, it's in preventing disaster. We forget their purpose until a crisis hits. Cutting buffers may boost short-term gains, but it leaves us exposed when things go wrong. The absence of disaster doesn't mean the safety net is useless. It means it's quietly doing its job. Optimization promises speed and savings, but when it targets every bit of waste, it often cuts away resilience. Consolidating food processing into megaplants is efficient until one plant fails and the whole system stumbles. In the past, many small plants meant local problems stayed local. Now, a single failure can ripple nationwide. By removing redundancy, we create single points of failure. The pursuit of peak efficiency turns robust systems into fragile ones. Like a racing car that's fast on a smooth track but useless off-road. Buffers are the muscle, not the fat, that help systems withstand shocks. When we trim too much, we lose the very capacity that keeps us safe. Efficiency without resilience is a recipe for crisis. A system stripped of buffers runs on a knife edge, fine until the first disruption. Without slack, small problems cascade into big ones. A delayed shipment becomes empty shelves overnight. Buffers buy time to adapt. Without them, recovery is frantic and chaotic. The stress spreads through the network, causing shortages, panic, and overcorrection. Workers face relentless pressure, and the public loses trust in the system's reliability. What looked like waste was actually our safety margin. Without it, every hiccup becomes a crisis. The lesson: resilience is built on having room for error. When we cut too close, We gamble with stability. Our ancestors valued resilience over efficiency, building in buffers as a matter of survival. Ancient granaries and wartime victory gardens were costly, but vital reserves against disaster. These systems accepted lower efficiency for greater security. Crop diversity and shared resources were buffers against the unpredictable. They weren't designed for spreadsheets. They were designed to endure. History shows that survival depends on redundancy, not just output. The relentless pursuit of optimization is a modern luxury, not a timeless necessity. Imagine a food supply chain as a series of containers, each with spare capacity, a buffer. When demand surges, each buffer absorbs the shock, and the system bends but doesn't break. In a hyper-optimized system, there's no slack. A small surge empties shelves and triggers panic up the chain. The result? Shortages and chaos. Simple math shows the risk. If demand spikes beyond the tiny buffer, the system fails. Buffers are the difference between a flexible, adaptable network and one that shatters under stress. They let systems absorb shocks, recover gradually, and keep serving us. Without them, even moderate disruptions become disasters. The numbers are clear. Resilience requires margin. Buffers make the difference between stability and collapse. Buffers are the silent guardians of stability, but modern efficiency has eroded them. The challenge isn't to abandon progress, but to balance efficiency with resilience. Buffers aren't waste. They're insurance against the unpredictable. We must reward robustness, not just short-term profit. The question isn't whether to have a buffer, but how much is enough to keep our systems safe. Zero margin is an invitation to disaster. Building a resilient future starts with valuing the buffer that stands between us and chaos.